A lot of the old text was in Hebrew language, and then it got translated into English. And when we translate words, they're fallible. All those words are not translated correctly. Then we try to make other people bow down to our beliefs and our standards. And who's to say that your beliefs are correct? Your standards are correct. You don't have a key to anything. Jesus said, "Be angry, but sin not." Jesus turned over the tables in the temple. If you turn over the tables in the temple, they're going to have you arrested. Everybody going to talk about the devil was in you. Pray for him. Pray for him. Let's get the devil out. Jesus' family came and seized him because they thought he was crazy. My life compels to Jesus. People think I'm crazy or what I'm talking is from the devil. What I am telling us all is we have to treat one another as though we want to be treated, or it won't go well with you because you'll be vibrating on a lower frequency when you get angry and you sin. When you cause another man to sin in wrath, he wants to comfort you because of what you've done. You caused him to sin. You caused him to use a violent tongue because you came for him, and your treacherous behavior and your torture and your lasciviousness and your debauchery, you came for him. Preachers get real good at preaching. They'll preach an hour message to get that money and call themselves, "No, we trying to save souls." Well, I'm trying to save souls too. I'm just like Jesus. I'm trying to set the captive free. But the captive don't want to be set free. The captive want to stay in bondage and empathize and sympathize with their captor. That's Stockholm Syndrome. I sit at 3 here in the morning and I think every day I get messages. I got my family telling me, have I talked to this family member? Have I talked to that? And the way the game is being played, I'll talk to them once and then I don't hear from them again. They don't take my calls. The only call that I'm privy to is of my mother and my 2 aunts. And for whatever reason, everybody else is turning the cheek and acting like they got to hide their hand and do whatever. They ain't no good spirit in that, trying to teach somebody something, and I'm not going to talk to you because of this or because of that. And none of them will see the first stone. So when they keep sending me this message, all the sisters got together and they need me to forgive and send this same preacher that my mama sent and everybody talking about Deidre sent it, I don't want to hear it. Because those very same people got somebody in their repertoire of people that they will never deal with again. Why don't they forgive them? Why do they not talk to them? Oh, we forgive them, but we don't deal with them. Well, why ain't I entitled to the same thing? I got left on my deathbed for 3 years. And my aunt told the other aunt, don't take her kids by to see me before I got sick. But then everybody don't remember that. And oh, forgive that. But these were pains that were deep rooted in me. I got whipped with the tree on my back. I got sent to a hotel and got bit with over 40-something bed bugs. I got crashed in a car and the pain was severe. My pelvic bone ached for over a year. And they wouldn't x-ray it because they knew it was probably broken or fractured. But they x-rayed my back and asked me, do I want surgery? No, I do not. X-ray my pelvic bone, I'm hurting. So all this secret society mess and how I was tortured for some family members to teach me a lesson and humble me. I need to be humble. I was always humble. But then the moment I get some wins and I celebrate my wins and I'm so excited and telling how the spirit told me this and the spirit told me that, I sound like I'm too haughty. But your preacher up there, he preaching that. I used to preach. Your preacher up there, he sound real haughty. You catering to him, you buying his house, you buying his car, you buying his suit, you buying his food. But he don't need to be humble. I believe if you're reading that Bible, you should only read the red letters. Because if you don't understand what you're reading and how the real God got switched for the other God who wanted to be called God, and that was Ra, then you in error. So if you haven't read those other texts and those books that was written predated before the Bible, which matches the story of the Bible, then you are in error. That you getting your food from one source when Jesus said a little here, a little there, a dot, a little tittle, a little here, a little there, line upon line, precept upon precept. Study to show thy own self approved. It is a spiritual thing. It is coming from within. Your relationship with the Most High comes from within, not without. You don't go to a building to get fed this message. It's got to be a mental download. It's got to be a spiritual download. And we have gotten downloads to the point we cry, you hear from them so clear, and then you realize that voice you're hearing is you. You are the Spirit of God. You are one with God. You are God. So when you get to that level, because of steps in this, you're hearing from an outside source, then the Spirit is telling you this and telling you that, and you get to realizing that's you talking. It's in your voice. But it's true, because the Spirit intertwines with you, and you become one. And Jesus told us we were God's, but yet we have the knowledge but deny the power thereof. And we don't want to take control of ourselves. We want to be governed. We need a government, someone to govern over us and mean it and let it be its statue and stand in its power. It is final. It is the mint. So govern over me, because I don't know how to govern over myself. I may do something wrong. I need you to hold me and make me do it and tell me the rules and give me all the things I should do and dictate to me what I should believe. When you are free, the devil's job is to get you back in. And if he can't get you back in, he comes to destroy you. And that is my life. I have been destroyed for my knowledge, destroyed for the power that it possessed. Because when you have this, you gain power. And everybody around me wants my power. They can't see how I'm still standing after they tried to poison me, after they tried to kill me. And then everybody's still acting like, well, you said it happened here, and you said, so it's happening again? No, it ain't happening to the way it did, but they just stole a check from me for $1,900 and some dollars. They stole $370,000 from me from a lawsuit. And yes, they're attacking me again. I'm going through the same crap, except it ain't totally the same crap. But I saw the gangbangers when my money got stole coming out of the place where I go to pick up my money. How you gonna send me a picture of a check and then 5 minutes later, because the mail just delivered it, disappear? But we all account for ourselves. We all got different fingerprints. So people need to think, my fingerprints don't match your fingerprints. Why should I have the same, why should I follow you? Why should I have the same story as you? Why should my testimony be the same as yours, but my fingerprints are different? Did you think Jesus gave you those fingerprints for you to be fingerprinted and identify yourself? That's not what those were. That was your treasure map. That was your blueprint for how you should live and what will come. There are some palm readers, because the hands are very powerful. And the hands also have a message. So why should yours be what Brother Alfred's is and Sister Cantaloupe when it's different? Your fingerprints don't match. People are in error when you try to make someone bow down. I need you to listen to this church message or I ain't going to deal with you. I listen to a church message, but when it start telling lies, I turn it. I'll listen to a church song, but then when we start saying, fill me up, God, and then we start saying, I give you all the power, all the glory, and I empty myself and I don't want to do this and that, and you my this and you my that. You're a God. You giving up all your power. And you got to watch what you're saying because words have power. So sometimes I listen because I be needing of some hope. And then I get into it and it's like, oh God, nah, I can't be saying that. And sometimes I'm singing an everyday secular song. And I catch myself because words have power. Saying, I am lost and I'm weak. No, I ain't weak. I am strong. If I'm claiming I'm weak, singing it in a song, anything you say I am to, you will be I am. So we got to watch saying I am. That is a very powerful statement. Jesus said, I am that I am. I am that I am. I am everything. That's when you learn to give reverence and respect to the ant. That's when you learn to give reverence and respect to everything. Everything wants to live. Everything has a life. Everything has a purpose. That's a good message right there. I can preach too, because I did used to preach. And I walked away because I had too many gifts, was knowing too many things. And then when I went raw and started eating only raw stuff, I began to cleanse my body of pain that I had suppressed for years as a kid, locked up in Pandora's box. All the things that had happened to me. And then I exhaled and let them out. And it wasn't pretty. And people were privy to hear what I was saying, and they didn't like what I said. And they got stuck in their feelings. But ain't nobody telling them to forgive. Ain't nobody telling them you got to let it go. So no, I don't let it go. I let it go in the form of I won't deal with you again. I let it go in the form of I won't harbor on it again because when I do, it's lowering my frequency. I choose to forget it. When I do that, the danger of forgetting is people will come back and say, oh, don't you still want to be friends? You got to forgive. Then you forgive and you get bit by that snake again. That's the story of my life. I forgive you and you violate again. You disrespect me again. You gossip again. You lie on me again. But when did I learn to not embrace that snake again? So that's like doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I'm not learning from my test. I'm still taking this test again because I didn't learn what separation of the wheat and the tare was. That may mean my mama may not talk to me. My daddy may not comfort me. That may mean I have nobody in my corner because it's time to separate the wheat from the tare. The haves, the have-nots, if you want to call it. This ain't about what you have financially. This is about what you have spiritually. Spiritually, I'm sound. Spiritually, I hear from the Holy Spirit. But the problem has come where I got so many other people so loud in my ear, so loud in my spirit by what they have touched me with. All the game that they touched me with and thought they were teaching me a lesson. They didn't teach me a lesson. They taught me more pain. And then out of that comes, I feel more remorseful for people. But they got to pay for that game that they wanted to teach me. Ha, 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 ha. Laugh at that.